All right, lads and lassies, what a time to be following Celtic Football Club. The atmosphere around the boys has completely shifted in recent weeks, and it's fair to say that optimism is flowing again through every supporter's veins. This is Celtic Central News, back with everything you need to know about what's happening at Paradise. Before we go any further, let me just say, your support has been unbelievable. The passion, the messages, the comments, it all means the world. Celtic fans are different class. So if you live and breathe green and white, make sure you're part of this community, because things are about to get even more exciting. Now, let's get into the big story of the moment, the future of the Celtic managerial seat. Ever since Martin O'Neill stepped in on an interim basis, the transformation has been remarkable. The man has brought back that old fire, that sense of belief and identity that Celtic fans have been craving. Those recent wins, the one against Falkirk and, of course, that electric performance against Rangers in the Premier Sports Cup, have completely reignited the energy at the club. Nobody expected such an instant turnaround, but that's the magic of Martin O'Neill. Even at 73 years old, the man commands a dressing room like few others in football. He's reminded everyone what it means to play for this badge. Still, as the dust settles on those impressive victories, the big question remains: who's going to take over permanently? The speculation hasn't stopped, and new names seem to appear every other day. But recently, one discussion in particular caught everyone's attention. Mark Guidi, speaking on the Go Radio football show, dropped what he described as the two main contenders for the Celtic job if O'Neill decides not to stay on full-time. According to him, if it's not Martin, then it'll be one of two men, Kjetil Knutsen from Bodo/Glimt or Kieran McKenna from Ipswich Town. Both managers have been quietly making headlines for their own impressive reasons, and their names now seem firmly tied to Parkhead's future. Knutsen's name, to be fair, has been around Celtic circles for a while. The Norwegian tactician has done incredible things with Bodo/Glimt, turning a modest club into one of the most admired teams in Europe. Under his watch, Bodo/Glimt have lifted 4 league titles, played attacking football that impressed everyone who's watched them, and even made a run to the Europa League semi-finals. Not bad for a club that was once written off as a small Scandinavian side with no real pedigree on the continental stage. Knutsen's teams play fearless football, full of pressing, energy, and creativity, traits that would suit Celtic's DNA perfectly. It's no wonder fans and pundits alike are intrigued by the idea of him leading the boys. Then there's Kieran McKenna, the young, ambitious boss who's been climbing through English football at a rapid pace. His work at Ipswich Town has been nothing short of sensational. Taking the club from League One to the Premier League in such a short span is a huge achievement. He's been praised for his tactical acumen, his man management, and his modern approach to the game. And most importantly, he's shown the ability to get players believing in themselves again, something Celtic could benefit from, especially after the turbulence of the final months under Brendan Rodgers. Guidi even mentioned that McKenna himself wants the Celtic job, which only adds fuel to the fire. Imagine a young, hungry manager arriving in Glasgow with a point to prove. That could be something special. But for now, all eyes remain on Martin O'Neill. There's a real sense of nostalgia mixed with pride watching him back in charge. He's not just managing a team, he's rekindling the soul of Celtic. The players look sharper, hungrier, more determined. The fans are back to singing full voice, believing again. Even in press conferences, O'Neill's presence radiates authority and charm. It's not just the results that have changed, it's the entire spirit of the club. That's why many are saying he's earned the right to stay on, at least until the end of the season. But knowing Martin, he'll make that decision only when he feels it's right for Celtic, not for himself. And while the focus has been on who sits in the dugout, there's another story developing that has supporters buzzing: the emergence of young Callum Osamand. Now here's a lad who's had quite the journey already. Brought in from Fulham during the summer, Osamand arrived with plenty of promise but, strangely, never got a proper chance under Brendan Rodgers. Week after week, fans wondered why the talented youngster wasn't even making the bench, especially when Celtic were crying out for attacking options. Rodgers had his reasons, of course, with the hectic schedule and the pressure of results, but it just didn't make sense to see such potential being left in the shadows. Everything changed the moment O'Neill came back. In true Martin fashion, he wasted no time giving the lad his shot. He threw him into the mix against Rangers, no easy task for anyone, let alone a teenager who had never played a senior match before. But Osimhen didn't flinch. He came off the bench, played with freedom and confidence, and scored a goal that sent the Celtic fans into absolute delirium. You could see what it meant to him: the emotion, the relief, the pride. That's the kind of moment that can change a career. It's not just a goal, it's a statement. Under O'Neill, the young players are being given the chance to shine, and that's one of the most encouraging signs for the club's future. Since that match, the discussions around Osimhen have exploded. Former players and pundits have all had their say, with some asking tough questions about why he was sidelined in the first place. Chris Boyd wondered aloud how such a talented youngster could be ignored for so long. Stephen Naismith, speaking from a coach's perspective, offered a more measured view, saying that sometimes a player just doesn't get the right opportunities in training to show what they can do. He pointed out that with the packed schedule and constant pressure to win, managers can overlook players who aren't already in their rotation. But now, with a new management team, it's a clean slate. O'Neill saw something in Osimhen right away: the hunger, the spark, the raw ability to make things happen, and he gave him that chance to prove himself. And prove himself he did. That goal against Rangers wasn't just about the result. It symbolized a fresh start for both the player and the club. After the match, standing on the Hampden Park pitch, Osimhen spoke openly about the tough period he endured, training hard every day, waiting, hoping, and never losing belief that his chance would come. It was a touching reminder of how much mental strength it takes to make it at a club like Celtic. Charlie Mulgrew later said what many fans were already thinking: it must have been difficult for the boy to sit on the sidelines while hearing his manager talk about needing new forwards. Every time Rodgers hinted at bringing in strikers, imagine how Osimhen must have felt. But that's football. Sometimes all it takes is one moment, one goal, one manager who believes in you, to turn everything around. Let's carry on then, because this story around Celtic just keeps getting better with every passing day. The mood in Glasgow's East End feels transformed, and supporters are walking with that unmistakable pride again. The green and white are shining brighter, and the passion in the stands is echoing louder than it has in months. You can sense that the players are feeding off it, too. Every tackle, every goal celebration, it's all got that extra bit of fire now. It's the Celtic we all know and love: relentless, fearless, proud. Martin O'Neill's impact has been nothing short of remarkable. Even the players who seem to have lost confidence are playing with renewed purpose. You look at the team now, and there's an energy that was missing not long ago. The passing is sharper, the pressing is more intense, and the unity is clear for all to see. O'Neill's presence alone commands respect. He doesn't need to say much, the players just get it. They know they're playing for a man who understands Celtic's heartbeat better than anyone. And it's rubbing off on the young lads, too. You can see them looking up to him, wanting to prove that they belong in that famous shirt. But still, the question of who'll take the reins permanently refuses to go away. The rumors are everywhere, and fans are debating it in pubs, online, and at every match. The names of Knutson and McKenna are now being talked about almost daily. It's a fascinating contrast, really. On one side, you've got the experienced Norwegian who's made Bodo/Glimt punch far above their weight in Europe. On the other, a young manager from Northern Ireland who's taken English football by storm. Two very different styles, but both bring something that could suit Celtic perfectly. What unites them is ambition, the kind of ambition that's always been at the core of this club's identity. Kjetil Knutson's record speaks for itself. He's not managing a super club with millions to spend, but he's built teams capable of playing fearless football, taking on giants and beating them. Remember when Bodo/Glimt dismantled Roma a couple of seasons ago? That was Knutson's tactical brilliance on full display. He's proven that he can take a group of players and mold them into a cohesive, disciplined, yet creative side. If Celtic wants someone who can modernize their style without losing their soul, Knutson ticks that box. He's a manager who values passion, teamwork, and bravery on the ball, all values that Celtic fans hold dear. Then there's Kieran McKenna, still young, but already making a name for himself in one of the toughest leagues in the world. What he's done with Ipswich Town is nothing short of sensational. From the lower divisions of English football all the way to the Premier League, and not by luck, but by playing proper, intelligent football. He's tactically sharp, knows how to develop players, and has shown a maturity beyond his years. The thought of someone like that bringing his ideas to Parkhead is exciting. Celtic have always thrived when they've taken bold decisions, and appointing a manager like McKenna would certainly be that. Still, it all comes down to what Martin O'Neill decides. The man's earned the right to make that call. Geedy was spot on when he said O'Neill's in the driver's seat. At 73, most would have walked away from such a challenge, but not Martin. He's come in, steadied the ship, and reminded everyone of what this club stands for. You can feel his passion every time he talks about Celtic. The respect he commands isn't just from the fans, but from the players, too. They play for him because they believe in him. And while nobody knows yet whether he'll want the job long-term, what's certain is that his return has brought pride back to Celtic Park. And amid all this talk about managers and tactics, the story of Callum Osamand remains one of the most inspiring things to come out of this new era. The youngster's goal against Rangers didn't just earn Celtic a place in the final. It reignited hope in the academy and every young player dreaming of wearing the hoops. When Osamand stood there on the Hampden pitch after the match, you could see what it meant. The journey, the setbacks, the doubts, it all came pouring out in that moment. He spoke honestly about how tough it had been to wait for his chance. But the way he's handled himself through it all has shown incredible maturity. That's the kind of character Celtic needs. Players who fight for the badge, who never give up. Since then, pundits have been full of praise for the lad. Charlie Mulgrew summed it up perfectly when he said that sometimes players just need someone to believe in them. Imagine being a teenager hearing your manager talk about needing more attacking options while you're training hard every day, waiting for your chance. That can break a player's confidence. But credit to Osamand, he kept going. And now, he's reaping the rewards. That's what makes Celtic special. The club's history is full of stories like this. Players rising from nowhere, proving the doubters wrong, and becoming heroes. It's also a reflection of what's changing behind the scenes. There's a new energy around Lennoxtown, a feeling that everyone's pulling in the same direction again. The supporters can sense it, the players can feel it, and even the critics are starting to take notice. Celtic are finding their rhythm again. Of course, there's still work to do. The league race is tight. Europe remains demanding, and consistency will be key. But right now, the foundations look strong, and that's what matters most. With O'Neill at the helm, even if only temporarily, Celtic are rediscovering their identity, and whoever takes over next will inherit a side full of belief. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Whispers are swirling around Lennoxtown this week after reports emerged that Matt O'Reilly has voiced frustration behind closed doors, allegedly questioning the intensity of Celtic's training sessions. Sources close to the camp suggest the midfielder didn't hold back in a heated discussion, claiming that the current tempo in training isn't matching the standards he expects from a side with title ambitions. O'Reilly, who's become one of Celtic's most consistent performers, is said to have clashed with members of the coaching staff, urging for more fire and focus during daily drills. The Dane-born playmaker is known for his professionalism and high work ethic, so his comments have caught plenty of attention. Some within the dressing room reportedly backed his view, while others were left uneasy with how openly he challenged the status quo. The tension comes at a time when questions are already being raised about the team's sharpness and cohesion. Fans have noticed a dip in energy in recent outings, and O'Reilly's alleged remarks might hint that the issues go deeper than just matchday form. One insider described the atmosphere as tense but honest, adding that the midfielder's words could be a wake-up call or a spark for further unrest. While the club has made no official comment, those around the scene know that such murmurs rarely surface without reason. O'Reilly's passion for improvement is undeniable, but whether his outburst will lead to renewed focus or dressing room friction remains to be seen. For now, supporters are left to wonder if this is a sign of growing frustration among the squad, or simply a driven player demanding the standards Celtic fans expect. Either way, Matt O'Reilly's name is on everyone's lips, and Lennoxtown is buzzing with speculation about what happens next. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.